I'm on day 279 of my streak learning Spanish on Duolingo, and I often ask myself, will Duolingo actually make me fluent? Can an app really replace what we've all grown up to understand as traditional learning? Duolingo is super popular, and as the gamification/education market continues to grow, we decided to look into what it really takes to learn something. To start, let's look at a little of the science behind Duolingo's rise to fame and how one little app has so many people hooked on learning languages. Duolingo absolutely dominates the mobile language learning app space. In 2022, the app had almost 50 million monthly active users, learning more than 40 different languages. Its organic growth since its launch in 2012 and high user engagement shows that people just love this style of learning. It turns out that Duolingo is tapping into human psychology with some tricks from the gaming industry to keep you coming back for more. This gamification phenomenon turns learning from something stressful and even anxiety-inducing into something more engaging and motivating. Duolingo has gamified learning language, turning it from something you want to quit into something that truly motivates. Gamification, put simply, is the addition of elements of gaming into a non-gaming environment. These can be rewards, challenges, or even quests. The purpose of gamification is to increase engagement by tapping into the psychology of human motivation. The field of motivational research studies the principal perspectives that can trigger certain behaviors. One such perspective is that of self-determination. And within that, there are three basic psychological needs that gamified apps can satisfy. The first is the need for competence, which is the feeling of success you get when interacting with the environment. In the case of Duolingo, this is accomplished through elements like points, badges, leaderboards, and the coveted streak. The second is the need for autonomy, or the freedom to make your own decisions. Here, the avatars each player can make and the ability to choose from a variety of different levels, types of games, and even languages give the user a sense of autonomy. The third is the need for social relatedness, which is the basic desire to be integrated into the social environment. Here, the social networking side of Duolingo comes into play, with friend quests that two players work together to achieve.
Hey everybody, Brad from the editing room here. I may or may not have accidentally messed up the audio on today's episode, so I am going to walk you through the challenge segment. Basically, Tasha's been working on her Duolingo Spanish for over 300 days. It's quite the streak, and so to see how well she's learned Spanish, we decided to put her through a test. We built a Spanish grocery store list, we put her into our local grocery store, and we wanted to see how many things she could get accurately. It's pretty interesting. I think she does pretty well, but before we get into that, let's see how the gamification professor we talked to, Dr. Leonard Nacke from the University of Waterloo, defines gamification and what he thinks makes it successful.
It works. Yes, you can use points and badges and other things to make these things more appealing, but at the heart of it, gamification really is more about why do you want to solve something, and can we make that process of understanding that thing and solving it more fun for you, and can we do that through challenges, can we do it through feedback and through meaning. So a lot of it is related to creation of meaning.
But it's not just Duolingo that uses those three behavioral strategies to encourage participation. Other educational apps also employ these methods. Codecademy Go makes learning to code fun and engaging. Productivity apps like Todoist, Habitica, and Forest also use these same principles to make getting your crap done feel like a satisfying experience. Financial apps like Monify take the tediousness out of managing money with elements of gaming. Even doctors can train their skills with gamified apps like those from Level X. So how effective is learning a language with Duolingo and other gamified language learning apps? Studies have shown again and again that gamifying language learning actually works. To put these theories to the test, let's check back in at the grocery store.
Early on, Tasha took a moment to adjust to the language barrier, but as she started cruising around the store, she was able to knock off some of the easier items like beans, which are garbanzos in Spanish, and some curveballs like paper towel, which is toalla de papel in Spanish, which I thought might trick her into getting toilet paper, but I was wrong and she crushed it. All right, let's check back in with Dr. Nacke and see why gamification is such a powerful learning tool and where it can sometimes go wrong.
Personal growth that comes with learning is something that's very powerful for us as humans. We always want to grow, we always want to learn more. And that feels very satisfying. When you learn a new skill, when you understand a new concept, that's a very satisfying internal reward that you get from just understanding. It makes you feel good about yourself. But as soon as you replace that with, okay, so now I got a point, I got a like, I'm on the leaderboard of something, you don't feel it as strongly because now because these things are powerful for us. We like that stuff. We like that external validation. And it takes away our focus from focusing on that internal growth that is so powerful for sustained motivation and sustained engagement. So the thing that happened a lot in early gamification is a lot of the stuff got mapped really quickly to points, badges, and leaderboards. And then that leads to a spike in engagement for a short time. But for sustaining this engagement is actually really bad. And this is why, the hype kind of went away, because people thought, well, it doesn't keep people long-term engaged with that thing. Long-term engagement comes from personal growth, some sort of social connection, relatedness that you might feel from feeling autonomy, like that you're allowed to do what you want to do and not somebody's telling you what to do, and that you can control the things around you somehow, right? Like these are the things that we stick around for, and that's more than just points, badges, and leaderboards. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like Duolingo can help, but it's harder to become actually fluent. The uncomfortable truth is that learning a new language is uncomfortable. It demands that most people take an active approach to learning. While engaging with Duolingo for a few minutes a day is a great start, you'll probably need a few extra steps to become truly fluent. While Duolingo expressly states that they try not to focus on the grammar of languages, rather they want the teachings to become an inherent part of the way you think about the language, having a grammar book or website to refer to if you have questions can be helpful while playing. If you don't understand a grammatical concept, look it up and learn the rules to help push you along in your Duolingo lesson. When trying to remember a new word, I sometimes build an Eselbrücke, which translates to donkey bridge in German. A donkey bridge is otherwise known as a mnemonic device or memory trick that helps you remember information. For example, if you think about it being baked in a pan, you'll always remember the Spanish word for bread. Conversing is the final frontier of any new language, so make sure you're connecting with people who speak the language you want to learn. If you can, visit a place where it's spoken and immerse yourself in the language. Try to speak in full sentences and make notes of areas you need to work on or words or phrases you want to learn. Making mistakes is all part of the process, so try not to get embarrassed at the beginning while you're learning to communicate. When learning a new language, practice makes fluent. That said, let's take a look at my results from the grocery challenge.
All right, to cap it off, Tasha did really well at the grocery store challenge, but I guess that's to be expected from someone who's put days of time into leveling up on Duolingo. She did concede at the end that she expects speaking and understanding a native language speaker would still be a bit of a challenge, but she has much more grasp on the language now, making it possible to converse slowly, something she wouldn't have been able to do before. Regardless of how she fared at the Duolingo challenge we set up, there's still a lot more we can use gamification for, and Dr. Naki even has hopes that modern AI tools will help make gamification in regular education more prevalent, but I'll let him explain that one.
Big hope is technology is becoming so much easier to use, my ChatGPT example and other things. With the help of AI, we're taking away a lot of the barriers for amateur developers or designers to bring forward some of these ideas with these technologies, and that I think is a big opportunity to provide better learning materials, better learning experiences. I definitely think we are now seeing a generation of teachers that have all grown up with video games. The generation of people that have never seen a video game or grew up without video games is slowly going away. So we are now in a century of a video game population. So everyone has an idea of what a video game is and how it can be used. And so there's, I think, less of a pushback against video games as a force for good. And of course, in research with all of these studies and everything, we've seen a lot of positive support for games actually enabling a lot of progress, right? And so I think that is a great cultural moment that we're living right now, where definitely the people that are teachers now are embracing it. And that can be, I see that even with people in their 50s and 60s that are embracing this more because they've had children go through this video game phase and they have a much stronger connection than, for example, my parents would have had back in the day, right? So it is shifting, there's more acceptance, there's more openness, and with that, of course, comes more opportunity for this to be implemented.
Ultimately, language is about human interaction and connection. Those who truly want to become champions of a new language will most likely have to close their apps and just strike up a conversation. So what should we talk about next? Let me know in the comments below and be sure to subscribe for new videos every other week. Bye.